Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the language of big business, and today we're diving into the fascinating world of Grayscale Stellar Lumens Trust. Get ready because we're about to uncover what a significant new agreement means for the trust and its investors. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our growing community. We also have a Discord channel linked in the description below where we dive even deeper into these corporate mysteries. So what exactly are we looking at here? This is a Form 8K, which is like a special bulletin from a company to let everyone know about something important that just happened. Think of it as a heads up. The company we are focusing on today is the Grayscale Stellar Lumens Trust, also known as XLM. This trust deals with a digital currency called Stellar Lumens. This report is filed with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, or the SEC, which is the government agency that keeps an eye on the stock market and makes sure companies are playing fair. The key event we need to pay attention to happened on the 3rd of October 2025. Mark your calendars because this is the date that kicked off a big change. The main reason for this report is that the trust entered into a very important agreement. It is called a prime broker agreement. Now, what is a prime broker? Imagine a trust that holds digital assets like Stellar Lumens. A prime broker is like a super service provider for these trusts. They can help with a lot of things like holding onto the digital assets safely, moving them around, and making sure everything is settled properly. In this case, the prime broker is none other than Coinbase Incorporated. Yes, that Coinbase you've likely heard of. They are working with Coinbase Custody Trust Company, LLC, and Coinbase Credit. Incorporated, all of them together are referred to as the Coinbase entities. So, Grayscale Investment sponsors LLC, which is the company that manages this trust, entered into this prime broker agreement with Coinbase. This agreement spells out exactly how Coinbase will provide prime brokerage and custody services for the Grayscale Stellar Lumens Trust. It covers everything from how they will hold the digital assets to how they will handle transfers, essentially setting the rules for their partnership. Now here is a crucial detail. This agreement, while signed on the 3rd of October 2025, will not actually become fully active for the trust until a special day called the uplisting date. This is the day when the Trust S shares start trading on the NYSE, which is a stock exchange as an exchange-traded product. Think of it as a grand opening for its trading on a major exchange. Let's talk about where these digital assets, the Stellar Lumens, will actually be kept. The agreement divides the storage into two main types. First, there is the vault balance. This is where the majority of the trust's Stellar Lumens will be held. The custodian, which is Coinbase Custody, will control the special digital keys, called private keys, needed to move these assets. This is the most secure way to hold them, often referred to as cold storage. Cold storage means the private keys are kept offline, completely disconnected from the internet. It is like putting your most valuable possessions in a super secure vault that no one can access remotely. This is a key part of safeguarding the assets against digital theft. Then there is the settlement balance. This is a smaller portion of the Stellar Lumens that the sponsor, Grayscale, can choose to have credited to an account managed by the prime broker, Coinbase. This settlement balance might be held in what is called hot storage or in accounts with other places Coinbase has connections with. Hot storage means the keys are online, making it faster to move assets around for things like creating and redeeming shares. But this also means it is potentially more vulnerable compared to cold storage. The agreement mentions that for creating and redeeming shares, a portion of the assets might temporarily be in hot storage. To add another layer of security, the private keys themselves are broken into pieces called shards. These shards are then spread out geographically in secure vaults all over the world. Even if one vault were compromised, it wouldn't be enough to access the assets because all the pieces are needed. The agreement also clarifies that the Stellar Lumens held in the vault balance are considered fiduciary assets. This means they are held by Coinbase as a trustee, purely on behalf of the trust. They don't belong to Coinbase itself and cannot be used by Coinbase for their own purposes. The same principle applies to the settlement balance, where Coinbase holds the Stellar Lumens for the benefit of the trust. The custodian, Coinbase, is committed to keeping all the Stellar Lumens safe. They will make sure the assets are kept separate, clearly identified as belonging to the trust, and not mixed with anyone else's assets. This level of segregation is crucial for transparency and security. Now, let's talk about insurance. The agreement requires the custodian to maintain insurance for the services they provide. Coinbase has indicated they have insurance coverage through policies held by their parent company, Coinbase Global. This insurance is designed to cover losses if the digital assets are stolen, including by employees. However, the document does mention something interesting. Coinbase Global has stated publicly that the value of crypto assets they hold is significantly higher than the value of their insurance coverage. This is something investors should definitely keep in mind. The agreement also details how deposits, withdrawals, and storage will work. Coinbase can refuse to process or cancel a transaction if it is required by law or if they suspect it might violate any regulations. They can also suspend or terminate access to their services if the trust or sponsor does something they are not supposed to do, or if ordered by a legal authority. When it comes to securing the accounts, Coinbase will store private keys offline using cold storage methods. They also have information security programs in place to protect the trust's confidential information. If there is any kind of data security incident, they promise to notify the trust and sponsor promptly. The process of creating the digital keys themselves is also quite sophisticated. They are generated in secure environments using special equipment and then encrypted and broken into shards. All the equipment used in this process is destroyed afterward, ensuring the keys are as secure as possible. As we mentioned, these private key shards are then sent to various secure vaults around the world. This global distribution is a key strategy to prevent a single point of failure. To actually move any assets, multiple private key shards must be combined, along with other security measures like usernames and passwords. This multi-layered approach means that if one vault is compromised, it will not impact the trust's ability to access its assets because the other vaults can still be used. This is designed to eliminate single points of failure. The agreement also puts a strong emphasis on record keeping and transparency. Coinbase has to keep accurate records of all transactions for at least 7 years. They must also allow the trust or its representatives to inspect and audit these records. The trust and its sponsor will review reports called SUSI 1 and SUSI 2 each year. These reports are basically independent assessments of how secure and reliable the custodian S systems are. If these reports aren't delivered, the trust has the right to terminate the agreement. Now for the liability part, Coinbase is liable for any loss of Stellar Lumens if it is due to their negligence, fraud, or willful misconduct. If they mess up, they have to return the lost assets. However, there are caps on their total liability. For instance, their liability is limited to the greater of a certain dollar amount or the value of the assets involved. There is also a specific limit for cold storage addresses, capping liability at $100 million for each address. If the value of assets in a cold storage address exceeds this limit, the trust might not fully recover losses beyond that threshold. Both the trust and Coinbase have agreed to protect each other from certain claims or losses under specific conditions. Regarding fees, the sponsor will pay an annual fee to Coinbase based on the value of the assets being managed. There will also be monthly fees for transactions related to creating and redeeming shares. The agreement is set to continue until one party terminates it. Either party can terminate the agreement with proper notice. The trust can terminate for specific reasons outlined in the agreement, and so can Coinbase. If the agreement is terminated without cause, Coinbase is expected to help transfer the digital assets to a new provider. This whole agreement is governed by New York law. Beyond the prime brokerage services, Grayscale also engaged another company called B9 Mellon Asset Servicing, a division of the Bank of New York Mellon. They will provide fund administration and accounting services. This agreement became effective on the 9th of October 2025. Because a new comprehensive agreement with Coinbase has been put in place, the previous agreement with the custodian is being terminated. This previous custodian agreement, which was in place since the 29th of June 2022, is being wound down as of the uplisting date. This just means the old arrangement is ending to make way for the new and improved one. Finally, the filing lists exhibits, which are the actual documents referenced, like the full prime broker agreement and this fund administration and accounting agreement. So what is the big picture here? The Grayscale Stellar Lumens Trust is essentially upgrading its operational backbone. By bringing in Coinbase as a prime broker and custodian, they are centralizing services and likely aiming for increased efficiency and security. The fact that this agreement becomes fully active only upon the uplisting to NYSE suggests Grayscale is positioning for a more regulated and integrated trading environment for its Stellar Lumens product. The emphasis on cold storage, distributed key management, and robust security procedures, while standard for serious crypto custodians, is reassuring. However, the note on Coinbase's overall insurance coverage being less than the total value of assets held at a group level is a significant risk factor that investors must consider. It highlights that while measures are in place, the ultimate protection against large-scale systemic issues for crypto assets remains a nascent and evolving landscape. The transition from a previous custodian agreement to this new comprehensive one signifies a strategic move towards a more established and potentially less risky operational framework, especially as the trust gears up for more public trading. Alright, that is our breakdown of this Grayscale Stellar Lumens trust filing. What is your take on these new arrangements and what they signal for the future of digital asset trusts? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives into the corporate world. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description for even more exclusive content and community discussions. Thanks for watching. See you next time.